Overexcited host Blake Rasmussen. Today, today is one of my favorite shows we've ever done because today we are taking a first look at the Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth, and I honestly, I'm having trouble containing my excitement to actually get information out to all of you. This set, y'all, this set is an amazing love letter to Tolkien fans, one of which is me.
Aww.
And I'm bursting with joy getting to share all of this with you. Couple notes right up front. This is a first look. For those of you who don't know,
Chat, do you want other chat on screen or closed? Open or closed? One for open, two for closed. One for open, two for closed. Spam it right now.
what they're ordering. As a bonus, you all get to see stuff too. So we're a little bit ahead of the release, which is happening in a few months, but we want to give local game stores that first look and you as well. So we're going to see some cool stuff today. We're not really going to talk about mechanics with a little asterisk next to that. We'll see. We'll get to that. We're going to get to the good stuff. Also, before we get started, and before I can no longer contain myself and just start talking about
Increase
cards,
the sound from source.
I do want to let you all know that
No.
we have relaunched the Magic Story podcast. So we did the Magic Story podcast years ago, around the time of Dominaria, and it has been relaunched ahead of one of our most consequential stories coming up, the March of the Machine story. That set of written stories is going to kick off this Thursday, and if you're looking to get caught up, learn a little bit about what has brought us here. The Magic Story podcast is available now. You can head to dailymtg.com to find it, or you can find it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
They also launched it with like 2 seasons
Lord
of
of the
the
Rings.
story
Okay,
from
so
backlog.
If you're not familiar with the set,
It's
you
awesome.
haven't seen the pre-order beat or any of the bits that we've talked about so far, Lord of the Rings, The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth is our first Universes Beyond booster release, and as such, it has been given so much care. We have worked really close with people at Middle Earth Enterprises to craft this this set that brings to life Tolkien's words, and we are so excited to bring it to you all.
Thank you,
So
Little
we are
Miss
going
Vixen.
to kick things off by sharing a number of the characters who are part of this world. We're going to talk about all of the components of this product, the product lineup. We're going to talk about a couple promotions. We're going to talk about promos, buy a box toppers, which are incredibly sweet. And we are just going to relish the flavor that is imbued throughout this set. Those of you who've seen me talk before, no, I don't talk this fast or this much unless I'm this excited. So we are going to kick things off. And of course, we are going to start things by taking a look at Frodo. Frodo Sauron's Bane.
Frodo!
For 1 white mana, you get a 1/2 legendary creature, Halfling Citizen. For white or black, if Frodo Sauron's Bane is a citizen, it becomes a Halfling Scout with base power and toughness 2, 3, and lifelink. And then for triple black mana, if Frodo is a Scout, it becomes a Halfling Rogue with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. Yes, being tempted by the ring is a core mechanic of this set, and we are not going to talk about what it means yet today. You will see it referenced in a few places, but we're going to talk about the actual mechanics of that as we get closer to the set. But know that it is imbued throughout this set. And I'm going to pause because each of these cards tells a little story at a certain point. This is Frodo going on his journey. He starts as a Halfling Citizen and then becomes a Scout as he goes out into the world. And then as the ring bears down on him as his journey goes on, he becomes a Halfling Rogue with, you see that black mana imbuing him with even more power.
He's
Now,
going on an
we of
adventure,
course
I
have
guess.
multiple different versions of cards in this set. And so let's go through what they are and kind of the concepts for each of them. So there's the main set regular version on the left. In the center there is the Showcase Ring treatment. So the Showcase Ring treatment is meant to show characters when they're at a point of uncertainty. often
One,
it
two,
involves
or
being
three. What's your
tempted by
favorite
the
art?
ring, or
One,
wearing the ring,
two,
or handling the
three.
ring.
One, two,
Not all of
or
them.
three.
We're going to see a
Spam
couple
it.
cases today where they are other moments of uncertainty. But here you see Frodo early on slipping on the ring to hide, and being further tempted by it and drawn to its power. Finally, on the right side, the Borderless Scene Bundle promo. So if you have been paying attention, there are 7 scenes, collections of cards that in that Borderless treatment will create a scene. We're going to see one of those scenes today. When we first announced the set, we released the scene, not the cards, of the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and this is from a scene that we're going to reveal here that shows them at Mount Doom. So we're going to show
ring
all
is
4
destroyed.
cards in that scene.
That's the scene
today. Now, of course, Frodo can't go to Mount Doom without Sam. Samwise the Stout-Hearted. This is a legendary creature halfling peasant. Samwise the Stout-Hearted costs 1 and a white mana, is a 2/1 with flash.
Have a bigger
and when Samwise the Stout-Hearted enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand, then the ring tempts you. So something I want to point out about this, you'll notice that Samwise here is an uncommon. Throughout this set, if you saw the article yesterday on IGN talking about Gandalf, there are multiple versions of characters depicted at different points in the story. And there will be uncommon versions, rare versions, mythic versions. Not every character gets all the different rarities, but it's much like Brothers War, where your favorite characters get multiple treatments, showing them at multiple points in their journey.
Oh, Sam.
So this is the uncommon version
Dear Sam.
of Samwise the Stout-Hearted, and as is flavorful, he's saving someone. So let's look at the different versions of Samwise the Stout-Hearted. I love his showcase ring treatment, which shows him bearing Frodo up Mount Doom to carry the one ring that last little bit of the way.
I can't carry it for you,
Sam
but I can carry you.
Finally, on the right side, the Borderless Scene Bundle promo is showing his part in the scene of Mount Doom. Now, the Borderless Scene Bundle promo, it's noted as a bundle promo, but you can get this scene in collector boosters as well. So the bundle scene is foil. And note that in the bundle, normally there is 1 bundle promo. In this case, the bundle and the gift bundle will both have this scene. So we'll have all 4 cards. Every bundle will have all 4 cards, and we'll see the others today. Non-foils can be found in the collector booster of that scene with Samwise the Stout-Hearted.
How is Sam not making food tokens?
All right, now also imbued throughout the set are the locations that we visit throughout the entire journey. And so I thought today we'd share the beginning of the journey and the end of the journey. So let's take a look at the Shire. The Shire is a legendary land that enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Tap to add green, and 1 in a green, tap an untapped creature you control, create a food token. I love the flavor text on all of these. You must start somewhere and have some roots, and the soil of the Shire is deep. So a couple things to note about this card. Yes, there is a bit of a legendary theme throughout the set. Obviously, with so many amazing characters, there are legends strewn throughout this set. Many who are very well known, like Frodo and Sam, and we'll see some lesser known ones later on as well. And then food. How can it be a set with hobbits and not have a food sub-theme? So you'll see many hobbits creating food, doing things with food. There's some versions of Sam that deal with food.
It better
so
literally be a card called Second Breakfast
as well. Now, these locations, all of which have rare or mythic rare versions, will also have borderless versions as well. So this is the borderless version of the Shire with different art on the idyllic landscape. All right, and now the polar opposite of the Shire, we come to Mount Doom, a legendary land that you can tap and pay a life to add black or red. Then you can pay 1 black, red, and tap. Mount Doom deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then the incredibly flavorful final ability, 5 a black and a red. Tap and sacrifice Mount Doom and a legendary artifact. Choose up to 2 creatures, then destroy the rest. Activate only as a sorcery. A couple notes on this one, besides just dripping with flavor. I know a lot of people will see the black and red and expect that there is a cycle of dual lands. That is not the case. This is a land that was specifically designed to represent Mount Doom. This is not part of a 5-card cycle. This is just Mount Doom adding the black and red. And of course, there is the borderless version, which gets a little up close and personal with the final landing spot of the One Ring.
Mountain go boom. One or two.
Next, I want to circle back and look at a couple more characters, one of which should look familiar if you saw the IGN article yesterday. But first, we have Golem, Patient Plotter. For 1 and a black, you have a legendary creature, Halfling Horror. Golem, Patient Plotter is a 3/1. And when Golem, Patient Plotter leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Again, we'll talk more about what that means closer to release. Black and sacrifice a creature. Return Golem from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only as a sorcerer. Sorcery. This is an uncommon version of Golem, kind of as we meet him along with Frodo. There are multiple versions, of course, of Golem. We have Golem in the center, living in his cave with the ring for hundreds of years. And then on the right side, we have Golem's part in that Mount Doom scene.
Don't follow.
And then if you saw the article yesterday, this next one is going to look familiar. So Gandalf the Grey was revealed by IGN yesterday for 3 blue and a red, legendary creature, avatar wizard. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Or put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. It's a 3/4. Gandalf shows up, does some tricks, and leaves.
I didn't expect this.
What I do, let's put up the ring version
really didn't.
as well. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I know this
or
card was
two?
revealed yesterday, but again, with the multiple versions of a character, this is the Gandalf we see protecting the Fellowship in the Mines of Moria when the Balrog shows up. So you'll see that on the left, him standing up ready to face the Balrog. And then his moment of uncertainty, Gandalf the Grey, remember, we'll meet other versions of Gandalf along the way, is in the Mines of Moria, falling off the bridge of Khazad-dûm as he battles the Balrog. Yes, this set has a Balrog in it. Yes, we will see the bridge of Khazad-dûm even later in this presentation. So the multiple versions of Gandalf the Grey, that was also revealed yesterday, but if you missed it, there's going to be a Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. There's going to be a Gandalf the White, of course, and there may be a version.
That better be our blue-white boy.
Well. Now, the other thing this set does really well, besides the characters and locations, is important moments throughout the set. And so that's why I wanted to lead with Gandalf here, because the next card is a really good example of that. So this is a simple, uncommon trick, but it's you cannot pass. For a single white instant, destroy target creature that blocked or was blocked by a legendary creature this turn. And we see a more action-heavy scene between Gandalf and the Balrog.
What a Chad.
I just almost got into lore of the Maiar. I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep going. I've been listening to a lot of Lord of the Rings podcasts lately.
At the pre-release, man, people are just going to be
but
yelling
this set
this
is not
everywhere.
Just flavor. It is absolutely dripping with flavor. But it is worth noting that this set is legal in Modern. And while this set is not Modern Horizons in terms of power level, we do have some interesting new additions to that format, like our next card that people have been asking for
Dude,
in
you
some
can
form or
say
fashion for
either
a while.
version
This
you
is
want when you
Reprieve.
cast it.
For 1 and a white instant, return target spell to its owner's hand, draw a card.
What?
So this is basically a white remand, which people have been talking about being possible in white for a while.
What?
So that is going to be available in Modern. That's sort of the power level that we're aiming for, but it is, again, this set is dripping with flavor,
This
and
should
where
be
there
called
are
You Shall Not
opportunities,
Pass.
these kind of cool modern shots were made. But I'm really excited, as a huge Remand fan, I'm really excited for Reprieve. I'll just play blue-white, and we can play 8 of these things.
Oh boy.
Okay, now, when I started getting excited about this set, it was this next card that I went looking for. I pinged the architect, and I was like, hey, is this character in here? He's like, yes, absolutely, check it out, here it is. And I've been listening to podcasts about theories about this character, and I couldn't not put it in the first look here. I was so excited to get this out in the world. Let's meet Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil, for white, blue, black, red, and green, is a legendary creature god bard.
Huh?
Now again, I've been listening to theories about Tom Bombadil, and that god bard line might actually set off some new theories. We'll see. But anyway, 4/4. As long as there are 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom Bombadil has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card. Is a
What?
saga
What's
commander.
happening?
It
Who
is
is
a
this?
storyteller. It is Tom Bombadil brought to life. I am
I don't
just
know what
beyond
this
excited for
is.
this. Let's also show the ring version, because the ring version is really cool. If you are not familiar with Tom Bombadil's part in the story, he's sort of this enigmatic
I read
figure,
the
but
books.
his
I just was young.
biggest claim
Give me
to
a break.
fame, I guess, is that he's completely unaffected by the ring. He puts it on, he doesn't turn invisible, he's not tempted by it in the least, and so rather than this moment of uncertainty, we see light coming from Tom Bombadil, and it tells such an amazing story for such a wild and creative character that
Mr.
I'm
No Ring.
so
Got
stoked
it.
we were able to get into the set.
Literally doesn't give an F.
Just amazing. Okay. I can only gush about Tom Bombadil
How does he
for
not
so
have
long.
protection
We do
from
have
rings?
to keep going through
Or
more cards.
protection
Let's
from
keep
being
doing some more
tempted
cards.
by
So,
rings?
there are going to be 4 commander decks released with this set, and we're not releasing the face cards today because a lot of them contain mechanics. But I did want to show you 2 examples of cards that are not the face cards but are really cool, to show again that the flavor is just throughout these commander decks, and you're going to be able to play these commander decks and tell a story, as it were, a tale of Middle-earth. So one of the first cards I have from the commander deck to show you is Sam, Loyal Attendant. 1 a green and a white for a legendary creature, halfling
Dear
peasant.
Sam.
It's a 2/4, but the most flavorful bit of
Partner.
this text, of course, is partner with Frodo, adventurous hobbit. So yes, there will be the face card, actually, of this commander deck is Frodo, adventurous hobbit. We're not going to show Frodo today, but how can we have a commander deck without Sam and Frodo partnering to go on an
Commander
adventure?
wouldn't have got far
In this
without
case,
Sam.
Loyal Attendant, creates at the beginning of combat on your turn a food token. Of course, Sam creates a food token. And then activated abilities of foods you control cost 1 less to activate. So Sam and Frodo partnering to go on an adventure here. That version you see on the right is the extended version, so the new commander cards will have extended versions in collector boosters as well. And then maybe second to Tom Bombadil is my next favorite character in Lord of the Rings, which is again why I got to pick it. We're going to see the commander version of Radagast, Wizard of the Wild. So Radagast is 2 a green and a blue, 3/5 legendary creature, avatar wizard, ward
I
1.
remember this dude.
Beasts and birds you control have
Isn't
ward
he
1.
brown?
Radagast is all about the beasts and the birds. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, choose one. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token, or create a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying. Radagast, for those who don't know, is one of the wizards, very much like Gandalf or Saruman. But he is all about the beasts and the birds, all about nature.
Okay.
So love Radagast. Radagast is
He's
gonna
got a
be
bear on his
in
art.
one of the commander decks. All right. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about a card that you might have seen yesterday as well. So we had to, of course, lead with the One Ring, but there's more to it than just this. So this is the One Ring. If you haven't seen it, it costs 4 mana. It is a legendary artifact with indestructible, and when the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring. Tap, put a burden counter on the One Ring, then draw a card for each burden counter on the One Ring. Now, one of my favorite comments when this was revealed yesterday was someone remarking that there was no writing on this ring. And that was absolutely on purpose because there are multiple versions of the One Ring, oddly enough, sort of ironically.
What?
Although we'll get to that in 1 second.
No,
So,
there's multiple.
Let's take a look
No,
at
it's
the
literally
variations
called the
of
One Ring. What is it called? The One Other Ring?
So you will see the extended version right there in the middle.
can't
So that
even.
is the collector booster version. And then the One Ring from the Mount Doom scene. So again, you can get the One Ring in the bundle or gift bundle as part of this scene. And that scene version will also be in collector boosters. And there's another wrinkle to the One Ring we're going to get to in a moment. We also have the Mount Doom bundle promo borderless scene as a whole. So this is what the 4 cards together look like. And then actually we can show you the whole scene without the
there
text
you
on
go.
top of it as well, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
We are not done talking about the One Ring. We are going to get to more about the One Ring in a moment. No, that moment is now. That moment is now. So, the One Ring. We do, in this set, have a couple sets of serialized rings. So, for those of you less familiar with the lore, there is the One Ring, but there are other rings in the set as well. There are 3 rings for elves.
Yes.
I could just read the poem, but there are 7 rings for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. I'm paraphrasing at this point. And then there were 9 for mortal men. That's how the Nazgul came about. So, what we did in this set is there are serialized versions of the Elven rings, of the dwarf lord rings, and of the mortal men rings. These you see here. So these are soul rings. Now, the text in them is Quenya, which is the Elvish tongue. And in each of these, they each have the same flavor text. And that flavor text is the poem 3 Rings for the Elven Kings Under the Sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their Halls of Stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord in his Dark Throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. Now, there are serialized versions and non-serialized versions. Now, notice on here, the 1 of 300, 1 of 700, 1 of 900. Those are to speak to the fact that there are 3 rings for the Elven Kings. So that's the Elvish ring, which there are 300. So there are double serialized, which have 300 total. And then there's non-foil, non-serialized. Again, of the Elven rings, there are 3,000 of those, again, with playing off that 3. Yeah. For the Dwarven soul rings, that's center one, there are 7,000 non-foil, non-serialized, and 700 double rainbow foil serialized.
Not gonna lie, I was thinking about getting a Tesla. I'm probably gonna skip
doomed
this.
to die, 9,000 non-foil, non-serialized rings, and 900 double rainbow foil serialized. These rings can only be found in collector boosters, which come in the languages you see at the bottom: English, German, French, Chinese Simplified, and Japanese. These are digital representations of those cards. Now, notice there's not a 1 ring in here. That's because for this set, how do you serialize the 1 ring in any other way other than making a 1 of 1 ring, which we will show now. So this is a traditional foil card printed in the Black Speech of Sauron. It can only be found in a single English language, The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth collector booster. This is, for a game piece, this is mechanically the same as the 1 ring that you can get in the main set. But that text there in the Black Speech, in the main part of it, is the remainder of that poem. One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. This is in this one singular one of one ring is a traditional foil. Now let's look at all the places that you can get different versions of the ring.
You can't get that
Okay,
anywhere.
so
Don't
to be
lie.
clear, if you are looking for the main set
Are you
version,
kidding?
that is found in some packs on every product we run. The bundle alt art promo version. These are all mechanically unique, mechanically the same. They are identical as far as gameplay pieces, but obviously have their different.
Whoever
amazing
said you have to
aspects
pay
them.
more to get the writing
bundle
on it,
alt
you
art
were
promo
wrong.
version cannot be found in draft and set boosters, but it can be found in every bundle or gift bundle, and then will be in some collector boosters. The extended art version is found in the gift bundle, specifically in collector boosters that are in the gift bundle. So gift bundles come with collector boosters, so you will find it sometimes in there.
I'm just gonna get
and
a
that can be
main set
found in
version.
any language English boosters. And then the one of one ring, the serialized, of which there's only one version. And again, you can see the writing on the ring in that image. It's amazing. It is put into a single English language collector booster somewhere in the world. That collector booster could be found in a gift bundle. So if you get a gift bundle, you could get the collector booster that
this will
has
never
the
be
one of one
found.
ring in it. But we really could not pass up this incredibly flavorful serialization. There is just something about having the one ring, and so we had to do that. Now,
Found in a landfill.
that's okay. My producer Sean kept up.
Not like
Appreciate it,
this.
Sean. Now, if you
Oh,
were also
man.
paying attention yesterday, we showed off 5 map lands. So full art lands that show maps of Middle Earth. We have the additional 5. So there are 10 total. We're going to show those off.
These are sweet.
I will say these are not meant to form any sort of larger map. Don't try to
What?
piece these
Come
together.
on.
They are very cool
That's a
in and of
miss.
their own. They show off various
miss.
portions of the map. And one of my favorite parts of Middle Earth has always been how developed the geography is, how you can actually trace maps of the journey, and it's amazing. So the full art map lands will be available with this set as well. Now, one of the coolest things we've done with this set is we have a set of box toppers we are calling Realms and Relics. So Realms and Relics are going to be both places and objects from throughout Middle Earth and the Lord of
we
the Rings.
got bonus cards?
And
Another
these are
bonus
going
sheet?
to be, you'll get one for every box, so they'll come in any box. They are going to be technically part of the Commander set, so they will not change legality, which you'll see will be important in a moment since this is a modern legal release. Not all of these cards are modern cards, but you will get one of these box toppers with every purchase of a box, and they will also be available in collector boosters as well. But let's take a look at some of these
Soul Ring and Brawl? Probably not.
fancy cards. This is the party tree, also known as the Great Henge. So this is should be a familiar
now and
card,
forever
but
be known
7
as
and
the
green
party
for a
tree.
legendary artifact. The spell
That's
costs
too
X
much.
cast. Rex is the greatest power among creatures you control. At green, you gain 2 life. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. So this is the Great Henge, but given the Lord of the Rings treatment, you'll notice in the lower left-hand corner it has the LTC 3-letter code, and then the set symbol is the Commander set symbol, indicating that it is part of that release and does not change legality. Now, the Great Henge is already modern legal. The next one we're going to see is also modern legal, but is super cool, and someone in the comments called it out earlier. Let's take a look at where it is. Where is it? Let's see. There it is. The Bridge of Khazad-dûm, which is Ensnaring Bridge. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact, and creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. Again, for those unfamiliar with Lord of the Rings, this is the scene of that famous Gandalf and Balrog fight where the rest of the Fellowship had to flee and Gandalf went down
Now
to
that would be a
his
card on
Sword of
Historic
Doom.
Brawl, but I don't think these are coming to Arena.
In flavor text, the way lay out across a slender bridge of stone. It was an ancient defense of the dwarves that only could be traversed in single file. So incredibly flavorful and perfect. Yeah, this has been a popular modern card here and there. And we're excited to see it as the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. And then finally, for today, this is not the entirety of the list of box toppers. We'll reveal the box toppers when we get to previews. But we wanted to give an example of a card that was not modern legal to show that not all of these are intended for modern. And that's okay because our next one is Valley of Gorgoth, also known as Wasteland.
That is
so you can tap
Gorgoth.
to add a colorless mana
Sir.
or tap and sacrifice Valley of Gorgoroth to destroy target non-basic land. And I love the flavor text on this one. But I am going to Mordor, said Frodo. I know that well enough, said Sam. Of course you are, and I'm coming with you.
Coming with you.
So yeah, and you can see in the bottom there, if you don't notice it right away, that is Frodo and Sam in the art.
That is
wandering
cool.
through the Valley of Gorgoth, headed towards Mount Doom.
That is cool.
All right, next up, we are going to take a look at some of the product lineup. We do have a couple more preview cards to show. We're not quite done yet, but let's take a look at the product lineup. It is a relatively normal product lineup. We have draft boosters, we have set boosters, we have collector boosters, we have pre-release packs, there's a starter kit, and yes, you don't have to freeze and enhance on the cards on the starter kit. We're going to show those in a moment. The bundle gift edition and then the regular bundle are there in the lower left. We'll talk a bit about more
Lords of
contents
Men.
of those as we get a little bit closer, but we wanted people to know that there are 2 of those. And then Jumpstart boosters, and there will be 4 commander decks. We're going to take a closer look at the commander decks. We're not going to reveal the face cards, but we'll talk a little bit about the characters and sort of the themes. So let's take a look at the first one. So this is the Riders of Rohan. This is a white, red, blue deck centered around the Riders of Rohan. You'll notice that it does include the collector booster sample pack. The 2 legendary traditional foils are going to be the face card and a secondary character. So
better have horsemanship.
when we talked about Radagast and Sam.
Better get a horsemanship re-roll.
All right, next up, we have Food and Fellowship. This will be the deck where Sam and Frodo. Now you'll notice Sam was white-green. But there's black in this set as well because there's a little bit of darkness to Frodo. But this will be a food-focused deck with Sam and Frodo leading the way. Next up, Elven Council. Blue-green, focused on the Elven Council. There will be a Scry sub-theme to this one. And it'll focus on characters like Elrond and others who lead the elves. And then finally, the 4th deck, and of course we could not have one without Sauron leading the way. The Hosts of Mordor.
Wait,
it is
Sauron's
a
gonna be a
red,
card?
black, blue deck, and Sauron the something will be the face card of this commander deck. There are a couple more things real quick. So there will be a buy a box promo, which is adorable. It is a Lorien Brooch, which is a reskinned Trailblazers boots.
The boots!
Equipped creatures
The other
have a
boots.
non-basic land block. Equipped to
Not
the
idly
Lorien
do the
Brooch
leaves
is,
of
of course,
Lorien fall.
A very useful item that the elves hand out. And then finally, the 2 face cards from the starter commander, or not commander decks, the starter decks.
Here we
Starter kit
go.
face
Oh,
cards. There we go. Aragorn and Arwen Wed. For a green and a white, legendary creature, human, elf, noble. Vigilance, whenever Aragorn and Arwen Wed enters the battlefield or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. You gained 1 life for each
This
other
is the one
creature
that was spoiled,
you
right?
control.
This is the one that,
And the flavor
that
text
launched
a little
1,000
bit
Reddit
about their marriage.
threads.
And then in a darker turn, Sauron the Lidless Eye, 3, a black and a red, legendary creature, avatar horror. So this is the only version of Sauron we're getting today, but this is the starter kit version. There are other versions of Sauron. I love that his fingers are missing, but anyway, going on. When Sauron the Lidless Eye enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Creatures you can, and for 1 black and a red, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Each opponent loses 2 life.
Infinite mana,
so,
win game.
Those are all the preview cards we have for today. We do still have a little bit more information. And we will talk
Where's
about...
the eye, though?
We will have some time for questions and answers, and then we'll answer what I can, which is not a ton at a first look. Next up, we have... so there is going to be a celebration event. The Magic Celebration event is something we are doing in addition to pre-release. It's going to be a big special celebration event specifically for Lord of the Rings. We're going to have more information on that coming soon. But let's take a look at some of the key dates coming up. So, lots of stuff coming up. MagicCon Minneapolis, we may have a little bit of Lord of the Rings there.
Yeah.
You'll have to show up to find out.
I'll be there.
May 30th, the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth debut and previews begin. We'll start previews then on May 30th through June 9th. June 8th will be the day that we reveal the Commander deck lists and do most of the preview cards. We'll have some Commander previews before then. The full card image gallery will be June 9th.
Arena.
And then June 16th through 22nd is in-store pre-release events.
Arena.
June 20th is when MTG Arena will have the digital release. June 23rd will be the global tabletop release. June 23rd through 25th will be those launch party events I was just talking... Or, sorry. Nope.
June 20th,
Launch
we
party
become a
event.
historic channel.
The celebration events are in a
Maybe
moment.
just historic.
The
brawl,
bundle
we'll
gift
see.
edition will release on July 7th. July 7th through 9th, the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth in-store celebration events. So again, we'll have more information on what that cool event is at that point. We'll have Commander parties July 21st through 23rd. MagicCon Barcelona, running July 28th through 30th, will feature play from the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. And then store championships. And then down there you see holiday release. We haven't talked much about that here, but on November 3rd, there will be another release window for some Lord of the Rings product. It will have some differences to it, and we'll talk more about as we get to that. But be aware that there is a holiday release of Lord of the Rings. It will have some new content.
What does that mean?
Okay.
We got more?
That's it. We
holiday
got
release?
through all of
Crazy.
the stuff. I don't know about you, but I have been a fan of Lord of the Rings. I always tell people I am enough of a fan of Lord of the Rings that I have read the Silmarillion, but not necessarily a big enough one that I've remembered all of it.
There it is.
And so this set
There it is.
just strewn with amazing flavor. I'm super excited.
Relatable.
I will try to answer whatever questions I can. I will note that there is an article going up on Daily MTG. It might already be up. And that may answer some of your questions, and I may point some of you there. So let's start answering questions. Will the content of the set be drawn from the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Q&A, baby.
Or canon, or just the trilogy? It is focused on the trilogy. I'm not enough of a Lord of the Rings scholar to fully know if
Hobbits?
there are bits and pieces from other places. But it's
We
very,
don't
as
get
you
the
saw with
Hobbit?
cards like You Shall Not Pass, it is very focused on the Lord of the Rings story. Is it possible that the One of One ring will be in a holiday release pack? No. It is in this round of collector boosters.
Dude, nobody buttons the top button.
let's
Go
see.
easy.
Do food tokens depict potato? We will show the food tokens off when we get to the debut.
They must.
They're like all the tokens in the set. They will be in
Potato and fish. And a couple
Are
of,
we only
what
getting
does he
scenes
call the
from Lord of the
rabbits?
Rings, or will there be stuff from the
Curlies?
Silmarillion? We are getting the scenes are all from Lord of the Rings.
Conies.
What does it mean? The ring temps? You don't have to say scenes.
You don't cook a couple of curlies? Just me?
So people asking about news about other products. We're focused on Lord of the Rings today, so I don't have any news on anything not Lord of the Rings. Is there going to be a Strider card of Aragorn? So I'm not going to say yes or no, but I'll answer the sort of gist of that question by answering it another way. There are various versions of characters throughout all of this. So, for example, there's another version of Gollum that's actually called Smeagol.
Okay.
You're going to see characters from throughout the journey of Lord of the Rings, and that goes for a bunch of different characters. So all the main characters get various versions that show them at different stages. You saw the starter kit version of Aragorn and Arwen Wed. There are, of course,
Terragrid, do you want to get
versions
me
of
in trouble?
Aragorn,
You want me to ask
before
about an
he's
alchemy
king,
drop
when
for
he's a
this?
ranger, etc., etc.
You want me to get lit up in the other chat? Is that what
Are
you're
there
trying
any
to do to me?
planeswalkers in this set? Great question, because that is not, there aren't any planeswalkers in the rings. So the answer is no. There are no planeswalkers in the set because there are no planeswalkers.
No planeswalkers.
Yes, this set is coming to Arena.
When's the last time
All
that
of
happened?
the cards will be playable in Arena in Alchemy and Historic.
Alchemy? No! I thought they said no alchemy.
Will there be Lord of the Rings wallpapers on the website? Love the art.
I swear they
you
said
know what?
no alchemy.
I'm not
once.
100% clear
I
on that.
swear they
We do
did.
release wallpapers fairly regularly.
Alchemy's about to
but,
get effed.
I'm not sure. We'll know more once we get closer to release.
Don't worry about it.
Are there any major returning mechanics from normal Magic? Well, yes. I mean, the set is strewn with them. So, for example, you saw food. Food is one such mechanic that is coming back. When is the Mitgo release for the set? I believe it is the same as the Arena release. That is the digital release.
I don't know what's real.
Are all of the Soul Rings limited or just the serialized one? So, if you're talking specifically about the Elven, Dwarven, and Human versions of the rings, the ones that have the flavor text that show in Quenya, those are limited. So there's 3,000 of the non-serialized and then 300 of the serialized Elven versions, for example. There we go. There are Soul Rings, of course, in the Commander releases that have different art, that are not of these, that actually are pretty cool. And I believe there's a version of them in the deck, or in the article today. So there are Soul Rings, not with these arts, not with the poem in Quenya in them, that are in the Commander decks. Let's see.
Come on, Soul Ring on Arena?
Yes, correct. This set is based on the books.
I honestly don't think Soul Ring on Arena is a thing.
Okay.
I think that they're going to say that's like an extra sheet,
this set,
so it won't happen.
Fantastic. I kind of answered this question earlier, but it's a good one to touch on because I know there are a lot of questions. Is the power level of Lord of the Rings the same as Modern Horizons 2? It was not designed that way. It was certainly designed with some modern in mind. So actually, Sean, if we can put Reprieve back up on the screen. So when I was talking about it, there are some things that are, meant for modern playability. Reprieve is Remand in white.
Why is white doing this?
I think we can see this showing up in the same types of decks that might want Tithe
MTG
or
Boomer
might
take.
just be
Not my
looking
color
to
pie.
delay their opponent so they can attack with a bunch of humans.
Why does
for
white get
example.
everything?
But it is definitely not meant to shake up the format the same way that Modern Horizons 2 did. This set it really was designed as a love letter to the Lord of the Rings, and modern playability came as part of that, but it was not a main focus.
Power Dragon, thank you for the raid. Welcome in.
So will Wasteland be legal in Modern? No. To reiterate that again, the box toppers are listed as part of the Commander release.
I want
and
that
so
Wasteland.
are not technically being added to Modern. Some of them are already Modern legal, some of them are not. It doesn't change their legality with the box toppers.
White Remand in Historic, dear Lord. Right? Dear Lord. I can make blue-white control with 4 remands and 4 divide by zeros and just make them rage.
Let's see. Are there any goblins or orcs in this set? Yeah, it seems likely.
Are there goblins
Female
or
Ents
orcs?
in Mythic Rare.
Dun, dun,
That's a funny
dun,
Lord of the
dun,
Rings
dun,
joke.
dun.
There are Ents in this set. Why make it modern legal? So the reason we made it modern legal was to make it so that as many people as possible could play with this set. We are super, super excited. It's really hard to underscore how excited people in the studio, people who worked on this set, are for this release.
Why make cards legal
it
for
was
formats?
done with every
would
bit
you do
of love
that?
and fandom that we could
Maniacs.
possibly put together. And so as part of that, when designing the set, they were like, why are we limiting this? We want as many people as possible to play with it. And so it's good to keep in mind that even when people are not playing in tournaments, sometimes they use let's do modern legal, because maybe that's when their collection extends to, maybe that's what works for their play group. And so we wanted to make sure that as many people as possible could play with this set, with the Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, and not just in multiplayer formats, but in 1v1 formats as well. And so modern legal was kind of the furthest back we could push it, to make it playable by as many people as possible. It's just that exciting. Will the Balrog have wings? Will have to stay tuned.
Somehow falls
Will
to
there
death
be no rebalancing
while
for this
having
set in
wings?
historic and
Cringe.
alchemy? I don't want to never say never that, but the intent is not to. You mentioned listening to Lord of the Rings podcasts. Do you have any recommendations for those of us who want to learn more about Tom Bombadil? So I will call out the podcast that I personally listen to. This is not a company recommendation. This is just the one I listened to. It's from a podcast called Nerd of the Rings, and it was just Who is Tom Bombadil, and it had 5 theories.
Nerd
That was the one I
of
listened
the
to this week.
Rings, huh?
My favorite of those theories, by the way, for those who want to go deep, was that Tom is the incarnation of basically the song that created everything. That's the theory. I also like the theory that Tom Bombadil is just Tom Bombadil, and
A song
thought
that
he was
created
cool,
everything. Who's that sound like?
Did I read correctly that every bundle comes with the one ring? You did. So every bundle, so bundle and gift bundle, both of them come with that scene with 4 cards. With the versions that we saw today of Frodo, Sam, there we are, Frodo, Sauron's Bane, Samwise the Stout-Hearted, Gollum, Patient Plotter, and the One Ring. All 4 of those cards in this treatment come in every bundle, both bundle and gift bundle.
That's one way to
And
get a bundle.
in the bundles, let me make sure I'm saying this right. In the bundles, they come in foil. And in collector boosters, you can get these cards individually. They don't come as a set in collector boosters, but you can get them individually.
Alchemy legal.
As non-foil.
I thought they said otherwise.
Are Gimli and Legolas going to appear? Of course. If you can name a character,
chances
are very good that they are in this set.
Challenge accepted.
Honestly,
the
can't
nerds
think
will
of
have
exceptions.
you.
There probably are. There probably are named characters who are not in this set. I want to say how deep this goes.
Bill the Pony. That's what I'm talking about.
Bill the Pony. Like, that's how deep it goes. I'm not going to say what it does or anything like that. But
who's the Lord of the Eagles? Like, the head eagle has a name, right?
Does this set have reprints or only new cards? So the Commander set, here's the cool thing about the Commander deck. So the Commander decks do have reprints in them, but they are all, let me make sure I'm saying this right before I go further. Because I'm about to, well, obviously they have Soul Ring. So, I mean, yes, the answer is there are reprints in the Commander decks. Yes. So there are reprints in the Commander decks, but they do have Lord of the Rings art. The main set, I am not 100% sure if there are any reprints in the set. There may be some here or there, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. Is this set Pioneer legal? No. Let's see.
Dora Baggins. Now you're going for it.
Will Soul
Shoot for
Ring
the
be
fences,
historic
baby.
brawl legal? I
Yeah.
do not know the answer to that.
What?
I'm not actually sure Soul Ring, if Soul Ring is coming to Arena or not. That's gonna be a question for the Arena team as we get closer. No, fetch lands are not in this set.
Ignored format.
That always comes up with a modern set. Fetch lands are not in this set. We'll squash that right now. So are there all 5 wizards? We'll have to wait and see.
Yes. Maybe.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm making either a
definitely
Tom Commander deck or a
Saruman,
Treebeard if he's super awesome.
the good guy,
I'm
Saruman,
eyeing
the
Tom.
madness.
Like I said, I saw Tom Bombadil and I literally teared up when I
So
saw
I'm
the
on
card.
reason.
So that may be my first commander deck, but we'll see.
Shadowfax has to be in.
Let's see. Will we get a card named And My Axe? You'll have to wait and see. I've already gone further. With that build a pony thing than I was supposed to. Let's see.
Blake versus the chat. For some reason, it's fun to watch somebody else navigate the chat and get and deal with these questions.
The chance to open the One Ring is linked to where you are living in the world. For example, do Americans have better chances to open it than Europe and Asia? So the
Real
One
questions.
Ring is going to be an English language collector boosters. Wherever you open that booster, doesn't have any bearing on it. It is English language collector boosters.
English language collector boosters. Go get them. I am unaware. Did they make collector boosters in other languages?
Is Colossal Dreadmaw in this set? No. No.
Yes? Okay. Like I honestly did not know. Like I wasn't sure for collector boosters. They've got like 5 languages of collectors. Okay.
Looking to see what I can answer. We do only have 10 minutes left. So there are, I'm seeing a bunch of good questions, and there are just a number that I'm not able to answer at this point.
Dude, who do you think the one... Guys, put it in chat. How much is the One Ring worth? The one of one. How much will that actually be valued at? And is it foil? They didn't answer me that.
Let's see.
If it's not foil, I don't want it. It literally has no place in my collection.
I think I am about out of questions I can answer without going further than Bill the Pony. So
it's
no
foil?
more
I guess
pre-cards.
I'll
So
buy it.
just so everyone is aware, Lord of the Rings, we will have our next look is going to be at MagicCon Minneapolis, where we'll share just a little bit more about the Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth.
I challenge Post Malone
and then
to
can we
a
put the
game
graphic,
for it.
the dates graphic back up there before we go. So again, the debut and the beginning of previews will be May 30th. Previews will run through June 9th with the global tabletop release on June 23rd. How are you, Blake? That great question. I'm so excited. This is one of the first shows I was actually nervous about because I was so excited and wanted to convey that to all of you. This set is really cool. Things like Tom Bombadil, Mount Doom, just kind of scratch the surface of the flavor that is imbued throughout this set. The commander decks are fantastic, and they let you play as who you want to play as. And so I am super excited for this set. I am super excited to talk more about it when we get to MagicCon Minneapolis and to May 30th. In the meantime, that is all I have to share. Next week, we are going to be off, but we will be back the week after that. So thank you everyone for tuning in to...
They're winding down here. Guys, if the One Ring comes to me, or let's get it on the screen here. Or actually, we can't because we don't have the screenshots yet. We need the stream to actually end. So we'll just let him do his chill thing, and then we can restart it from the videos. Is that there? Okay. Bow, bow, bow. And let's see. Can we find it easily? Do we remember about where it is? It's before that? After that? Honestly, not sure. Nope. Nope. Yep. Nope. Nope. There it is. All right. What? No. Freeze. Pause. There we go. If the One Ring comes to me, I pledge right here before the legions of Twitch audience, I will, by foot, take it to some mountain in Hawaii, some volcano, and I will climb that volcano, and I will burn it in the fires where it probably was not wrought. I'll do it. I am going to Iceland this December, actually. All right, Iceland. I will climb some frickin' mountain in Iceland, I will chronicle the journey, and I will burn it. Why? Why? Content. I want everybody who's ever given a shit about magic to know my name. Why do you think I do this? All I want is 1 million views on YouTube. That's all I want. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the collectability. I just want the views. That's it. That's it. So if the One Ring comes to me by this November, I'll do it. I don't give an F about it. I'll do it. I will have Covert Gogina come with me, film me climbing the frickin' volcano, and I will cast it into the fire. And that'll be that. I'll do it. Croakies wants to come with me and be my Sam, which LOL, not gonna happen. He's welcome to join. That would be fun. That would be content. Let's frickin' go. Nah, never mind. Croakies can be Gollum. Gollum did go on the journey, I guess, technically. Who should be my Sam? Too tall for Gollum? Yeah, but he's got the lanky, you know? He's lanky. Arjuna? Get Arjuna? Gina is a good Sam. Merchant? Can we get Merchant out of retirement for this? That's not a bad one. That is not a bad one at all. Jim Davis would actually be a pretty good Gollum if he wants to be. Absolutely. All right. Croakies can be my Sam. Jim Davis can be my Gollum. Let's go. That's the content right there. Would you even try a pro tour? I mean, that's a little bit out of left field, but I mean, I have already been there, got the t-shirt. Who's Gandalf? That's the thing. I want to be Gandalf, but Mistman is Gandalf. Mistman and Gabriel Nassif are Gandalf. That's the fact. Are you the guy from YouTube CGB? Same guy. No, you're thinking of Covert Go 2. There's too much we don't know about Sonio. We can't be sure. We cannot be sure. Sonio's that guy, you think you know him, but might turn out to be a Saruman. You know? Just boom. There it is. Jim Davis, we were just talking about you. We were just talking about you. We were casting my Lord of the Rings saga, where when the One Ring comes to me, I will take it on a journey up a volcano in Iceland, and I will cast it into the fire. And we were trying to cast the show, and you were your name came up as Gollum. How do you feel about that? Would you audition for the part of Gollum on this journey? I didn't make you Gollum. Okay, this was chat's idea. This was chat's idea. I can't help it. If you do weirdo faces and thumbnails and they want to make you Gollum, you are Gollum. That's the way it works. Don't you try to unraid me. It came to me.
It's mine, my precious.
So I have seen you put on the acting boots. I think you could do a good Gollum. I think you would do a sweet Gollum. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, give it up for Jim Davis. Thanks for the raid. Important part of the band, potentially. The hard part is actually getting the 1-of-1 ring, but the odds of which are incredibly low. Where does Jonathan Young fit into the universe? Guys, how do we get Jonathan Young on this project? He's the bard, right? Isn't there... So that's what it is. If you watch Return of the King, the animated version, the whole base of it is that all the characters are like old and about to leave Middle Earth. And there's a bard who like just sings them all a song at dinner to tell them the story of Frodo, of the 9 fingers and the Ring of Doom. And yeah, Jonathan Young can be the bard. He can do the very, very metal version of the bard. No question. Reed Duke as Aragorn. If he's interested. Haven't actually talked to him. But, well, I mean, I just kind of met him. You know, but like I don't know him. Starship Velociraptor is canon. That is a very good album by Jonathan Young that you should check out. But yeah, this is absolutely sweet. Absolutely sweet. I can't believe they did this. Like, how much is this thing really going to be worth? It's going to be insane. The golden ticket, right? And here's the thing, like, how much of this product actually goes unopened, you know? Like, now the meme is that this is going to end up in a landfill or something. Or that somebody's kid is going to play with it, right? Like, it's just as possible that somebody just picks this up at Walmart for Christmas presents or something, a birthday present. And little Jimmy opens this and is like, oh, that's cool. Just, can you imagine some like 9-year-old, no sleeves, just picking their nose and then touching this card? Just walking around the house with it. And some things that should not have been forgotten. No kidding. No kidding. This might get found in a Storage Wars locker 20 years from now and be actually priceless. History became legend. Oh my god. I mean, it's cool. Like that this is out there just kind of adds a different level to the whole thing. Should they do this? I don't know. They can do it. So let's go. Does condition matter? See, that's the thing. No, condition doesn't matter. But part of my job is to trigger. Chat, you don't know this. You don't come here thinking I can't wait to be triggered today. But part of my job is to keep you all awake and engaged. And that means sometimes I gotta push you in the buttons. And I know exactly where your buttons get pushed. No sleeves. No playmat. What? How are you not double sleeving in our year of our Lord 2023? How could this happen? What if somebody breathes on it? Oh my gosh. You get the pictures of those people like playing like Magic at the beach, right? And you're like, sand! Mengu, there's gonna be sand on your cards! LVD, what are you doing? Gosh, is that not the ultimate promo for the person who does open this? Like, it's worth a ton of money, but you're probably not going to get rid of it. Like if you eventually this will end up in the hands of somebody who is not getting rid of it. Right? Like they pay all the money, somebody gets rich out of nowhere, and the person who then buys it is probably at least going to hold it for a while, right? Right? It might get flipped twice. You know, the first price, what somebody would take, sucker, and the real price, when all the collectors bid it up, right? After that, somebody's going to hold it. The ultimate play after that is you go get some endorsements, right? You get like Ultra Pro Ultimate Guard to do like the special grading, like special collector edition MTG grading sealed case treatment with their brand on it. And you say the one ring, the one of one, is protected by insert company here. And they just sell some extra expensive grading service / case. You get endorsed, and that just pays for years to come. You're welcome. You guys are welcome. The volcano-proof sleeve, beautiful. Yes, that's how you do it. Honestly, my biggest gripe with this thing is it kind of steals the show. I'm trying to remember what the cards that were revealed do now, and I can't. Like, was there a hype card revealed? I don't remember what it is. All I can think of is, like, throwing this card into a volcano. That's all I can think of. All right. Blake talking. Oh, yeah, Frodo. I don't know much about the tempty thing. We'll have to see what happens when the ring tempts you, because this might trigger some Legacy fans. It is partially my job to wake you up and trigger you. I mean, it's easy to look at this and be like, Frodo sucks. What if getting tempted is like the initiative, but better? Huh? What if that's what getting tempted is? Because everybody was like, ooh, venturing into the dungeon is bad. Well, how about getting tempted? What if when you tempt, you get this sweet, cascading, never-ending value engine that starts running for you, you know? What if you draw a card every turn based on how many times? What if it's like an emblem and every turn you draw a card for how many times you've been tempted, like an extra card? Is that fine? I mean, look, I agree. Frodo looks incredibly underwhelming, but we don't know what getting tempted means. And people rolled their eyes at the initiative, and look what happened. Some card has been banned. Legacy is destroyed. Here we go. We don't know. We don't know yet. The odds are Frodo, this Frodo, because there's going to be multiple. This Frodo strikes me as pretty mediocre, but we don't know what being tempted is. We're going to have to find out. Also, I'm aware that there are spoilers out there about this set. I don't look at them. So if any of you looking at like the leaks have all the info, I don't care. I do not care. All right, Samwise, the Stout-Hearted. 1 and a white, 2/1 flash. We got Snapcaster Mage, but white. White just gets everything. Oh my god. When it enters the battlefield, choose a permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, return it to the hand. The ring tempts you. We don't know what that means. The tempt thing could be just busted. Like if the ring tempts you is an emblem that draws you a card and costs you a life every upkeep, this card is insane. It's the most busted uncommon ever. So I'm guessing that's not the case, but who knows? Here's the thing. Like, you can just... This plus a fetch land, dude. In Commander? Is so good. Just this plus a fetch land is so good. And that's just... That's like the floor in, like, Commanders and Moderns, right? That's really sweet. In Historic Brawl, we'll see. We don't have the fetch lands there. But, dude, formats with fetches, like the floor of this card is already, it just comes in and gets you a card. Sometimes you need an extra land. It's pretty good. Sweet card. Absolutely sweet card. No question. All kinds of cool things to do with that. Oh, we didn't talk about like the different arts. Like I told you guys to say which one you like. I'm down with the scene existing, you know, like put the four together. Oh my gosh, you get a scene. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not like in love with it. I probably won't get these ones. Don't really need them. Borderless is cool and all, but I don't need to collect all of them. This one is pretty sweet. The kind of ring view. I don't know what they're going to call this. The showcase ring treatment. This one looks pretty sweet to me. I like this, but I think what I like even more is like the art they're putting in there, like this shot that is, you can see the ring, which is around Frodo's neck here, is what's shining right there. You see Sam carrying Frodo, carrying the ring on the mountainside with the sunset and the lava and the lightning. Like it's just all there, man. It's so sweet. Those of you who don't know my collecting tendencies, I get a foil version of every card in the set in the original normal frame. So like this Samwise over here on the left, I'm going to get every card that is like this regular frame, usually in a foil. And it's usually not very expensive. A lot of the foils cost the same as unfoiled versions because there are so many different cosmetics now that the other collectors buy. I usually get these at a pretty good price. So that's what I usually buy, the basic foils. And then I will buy like these other sets if I really like them. So right now I'm undecided on the showcase ring treatment. I think it looks pretty cool and I might get it. And I probably won't get the borderless. So there's a collector's corner with CGB. Maybe someday. I keep saying someday I'm going to bust out my foil sets and record like videos for Covert Go 2, just going through like a foil set, show it off a little bit, but I never get around to it. There's always like a 10-minute take on some new cards to record. You know what I mean? But maybe someday I will. The Shire. The Shire. Every time I see this, the music is just going to start playing in my head. Tap an untapped creature you control to create a food token. Sweet. Why not? Just something that makes little food tokens are sweet. The legendary theme. This card will get played. Plenty of places to play this in Historic Brawl. Like, easy include in a whole bunch of decks. Obviously, if you have your commander, it enters untapped. Just like kind of here's a forest, and anything that likes artifacts and tokens and life, it's fine. It's a legendary land. It's an easy one of in Historic Brawl. It's fine. Continuing. Play it right now. I want to put this on YouTube. I don't want it to get claimed. Mount freaking Doom. This land is sick. I don't really care very much about the abilities because it's sick. It is sick for existing. Look how nice this is. So pay 1 life and get red and black is fine. Legendary means it's a 1-of for most situations. Definitely goes in any red-black Historic Brawl deck. Definitely goes in some red-black decks in Historic. Probably just as a 1-of. And then the 1 damage to each opponent. Hey, you could win a game that way. It could happen. And then you get down here, 7 mana and tap this. So basically 8 mana. And you have to have a legendary artifact to sacrifice. So Mox Amber, I guess. Choose up to 2 creatures, then destroy the rest. I mean, people are like, board wipe on a land. Holy crap. Dude, it's so expensive. This part isn't going to come up that much. So I'm like, yeah. Here's the thing. If this doesn't have the sickest freaking animation on Arena, and I know I'm just setting myself up for disappointment because, I mean, dude, Arena is like some of those people you knew in high school. The animations on Arena, they've let themselves go a bit. I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment, but my God, if this goes off, it should have a sweet animation. It really should. I hope it does. Please. Animations were part of the real promise of Arena. I remember people complaining about them, and I've never said they should be too long, but good God, like a Star of Extinction animation is like the coolest part about Arena, man. Maybe not the coolest, but it's up there. All right. Gollum, the halfling horror. The patient plotter.
And Hobbit's so polite.
My Gollum impression comes and goes. I have it. It has moments and has bad moments, and I'm going to try anyway, and I'm not backing down. This card is fine. It's kind of a cool sack outlet when it's in the graveyard, especially as something that can just discard it again if you want to sacrifice multiple things and somehow use a discarding effect. I don't know. This is a bizarre card. We also still don't know about the tempting. If the tempting thing is good, then Gollum will probably be a lot better than we think it is. So we still don't know what tempting means. We're just going to have to find out. I talked about this card on my video on Covert Go 2. So if people got past the first 4 minutes of that video, you might have heard me talk about this. Do we have some lore masters here in the chat, right? Like, is Gandalf the Grey being, does that make sense to the book, folks? It doesn't make sense to me as somebody who hasn't read the books in like 30 years. It does. Okay. He has a ring of fire. He does. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. I mean, yeah. I guess it's just one of those things where I have to be like, okay. Sure. I didn't know. I was just like, I didn't see no red in that one, but I have a feeling he'll come back as a blue-white Gandalf in Gandalf the White. He has one of the 3 elven rings, the Ring of Fire. I think I knew that somewhere, but I like a lot of this is anything from the books that was never touched in the movies, and anything from the Silmarillion is a big hazy blur to me. I'm gonna need to be reminded of a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't remember Tom Bombs or whatever. I didn't remember Tom Boombastic. Not by name. You cannot pass. People are gonna be like, what happened to you shall not pass? It's like, dude, you can yell whatever you want at your pre-release. And I have a feeling when you go to the pre-release, you're just going to hear people yelling this all over the place every time this card gets played, because that's probably where this is going to be cast, you know. That's where this card is going to be for the most part. It would be nice flavor text on the Ensnaring Bridge, though. Reprieve, like. As Faramir and Eowyn stood so, their hands met and clasped, though they did not know it. Romance! You can't hold hands on Middle-earth without getting Twitter-pated. Right? Right? Anyway, this card is bananas. This is going to be alchemy legal? This is going to be historic brawl legal? What? What? You serious right now? We can't have divide by 0? We can have this? I mean, how do you even nerf this? Make it cost 3? Not alchemy. See, that's what I thought. I didn't think this was going to be alchemy legal. And then I watched this little video today, and somebody who works for Wizards of the Coast, who might know more about what's alchemy legal than you, they said it's going to be alchemy legal. So I thought I was with you. I didn't think this was alchemy legal. And here we are. Getting all alchemy legal up in this. So yeah, this goes in alchemy. Yippee-ki-yay. Here's the thing. This is better than Remand. Do you guys know why? Let me look up Remand, just to be sure. I'm going to say something that's going to make me stupid. Yeah, there it is. It is there. Counter target spell. If the spell is countered, put it into owner's hand instead of graveyard. This says return spell. This doesn't counter it. That means you can play Reprieve and it will work on spells that can't be countered. Yeah. Yeah. Power Crept Remand. In a color that doesn't even counter things. It does work with Leer. Now, Leer is nerfed in Alchemy. And it's nerfed in Historic, but it will probably be unnerfed based on the way things have gone. It will probably be unnerfed in the fall. But good God. No permanence bounced. I mean, unless they're on the stack. Oh my God. This card is going to be an absolute salt mine. I love it, as long as I'm the one casting it. Oh my goodness. It's just so gross. You just can't cast expensive spells, man. If you cast an expensive spell, this is such a beating. You can also play it in just white aggro decks. Because you know what's great about white aggro decks? They totally let people cast their spells for the price that they would expect to cast them for, don't they? No, they make you pay more. They make you pay more. And when they do, boom! Do it again. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. Oh, yeah. Play instead of Thalia? Play it with Thalia. Guys, if your opponent's paying one more, you can pay one more to time walk them. That's fine. That way you have a clock and they're not getting to cast their spells. Play them at the same time. It's fine. This is fine. Dude, holy crap. A whole new generation is going to learn about how disappointing a card like this can be. A whole new generation is going to rage quit and post their anger on Reddit. I look forward to it. Tom Bombadil, a Wooburger, 4/4 mythic god bard. As long as there are 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, Tom has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga. Put it onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom. Triggers once a turn. This is probably a commander card, but it is in the set. It will be part of the set. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you're going to play a lot of this in like Alchemy or Historic, but I think you're going to play it a lot in Commander and Historic Brawl. This card is, I mean, yeah, you run sagas. We have a lot of good sagas. There is no question there are a lot of good sagas, but you just can't make decks in these formats with just sagas. Like, this is the kind of card that gets absolutely housed by the new Remand, whose name I better Reprieve. I think it's called Reprieve. Is that right? But I mean, this is the kind of card that gets destroyed by that card. I gotta learn the name of the card. I just gotta lock it in. Reprieve. Yep. Reprieve. This is the card where the whole deck just runs into Reprieve and breathes nothing but sadness. But it will be fun. Historic Brawl stuff, it will be fun. No question. What else we got? Sam. The partner thing, absolutely. I had wondered if they were going to use partner friends forever, or, you know, whatever's going on with that. This does the partner with a specific card, since we haven't seen it in a little while in Commander. It says when this creature enters the battlefield, target player may put Frodo into their hand from their library. So you can like literally put this into play and search your library for the Frodo and get the Frodo. Like, if that is pretty cool if you just have these in your deck. I believe you can just have them both in the command zone, though. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Anyway, food stuff. Salmon food makes sense. And they didn't show us this Frodo, which is weird, but they will. This is the bigger, higher toughness version of Sam that I expected. I expected Sam to be more tough, right? Yeah, people are just going to build a Sam's Potatoes deck. We got Radagast. These are Commander legal cards, by the way. They are probably not coming to Arena. The standard has been mostly set that they don't come to Arena. Eldraine's Brawl decks were an exception. So I wouldn't expect these on Arena, but for you Commander fans, we got cards. I'm not much of a bird and beast player. Like, I didn't get excited about the latest Taunos. This one's not really for me, but for those of you who likes this kind of thing, go at it. Look at that bear. That's a nice, happy, cute bear. 1 minute it's that bear, next minute it's cocaine bear, you know? Next minute it's Goreclaw. Soul Ring. Will Soul Ring come to Historic Brawl? I don't think so. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think that these are not going to be printed. I know that they've said that the entire Lord of the Rings set is coming to Arena. But that doesn't mean the Commander set, and you can clearly see it says LTC and the set symbol. So these are from the Commander set, so I don't think the Soul Ring is going to make it to Historic Brawl. So, hate to bum you guys out, but that's my take. They've got all these numbered versions for collectors to just lose their minds about. I think I'm going to sit that one out. I made the joke during the stream that I was thinking about getting a Tesla. I honestly said Tesla as insert thing that people know are expensive and triggers part of chat. I don't really give a damn if I get a Tesla or something else. I don't know what car I'm going to get. I'm not a car guy. I don't think much about which car I get. I don't know. I just don't care that hard. But you know, if you're thinking about any big purchases in the near future, you probably want to sit out on collecting all these rings. And then, of course, we have this, which some people are going to believe to be, and it might prove to be, we'll see. I mean, we'll only know if it's actually found and goes up for sale. How much is this actually going to be worth? It's amazing how much people focus on money, right? That's the same question everybody has, you know? How much? How much will it cost? And the fact is, it probably doesn't matter to literally everyone in the world except for one person. We don't have to care. But it's still fun to speculate. Like, you just don't get it out of your head easily, you know? The fact that it's out there, we think about it. These things get stuck in there. It's like a little, it's the one that, you know, we're getting tempted by the ring, right? The precious. Dude, can you imagine if I actually, if I do open it and then have to do the thing I said I would do? Can you imagine how hard it would be to destroy this? Can you picture it? I will probably look as sick and worn and destroyed as Frodo. I will probably have a moment of, the ring is mine. I can do with it as I please. And then I go invisible by just cutting off the stream, you know, and I just walk away. I mean, yeah, that's why Lord of the Rings is amazing, dude. It captured something in a fantasy world that feels so familiar. The greed monster inside all of us. The long, like, what would we do if we were entrusted with the one of one? What would the one in Best of One do with the one ring that is one of one? Could you destroy it? Oh man. That's what makes the whole thing so epic. I am still very excited for this set. The artwork is, they definitely have a lot of different takes on the artwork. Like if you see any of the 3 takes, you get kind of 3 versions to choose from. So they went a lot of directions with the different versions of the cards and the art. And you know what? I'm still here. I'm still here for it. I'm still excited. Are you guys still excited? How about this? After watching this, I want to know, more excited, about the same, or less excited? We'll go 1, 2, 3. 1 is more excited, 2 is the same, 3 is less excited. After watching today's reveals, 1 is more, 2 is the same, 3 is less. I see we've got a good crowd today. Not too many 3s. For those in the 3 camp, I'm sorry. I hope that you get what you're looking for in the near future. It sounds like they still have a lot more to reveal. We got some 2s. We have a lot of 1s. Man. All right. Another question I posed on my other channel. Is this going to be the best-selling Magic the Gathering set of all time? And because we just did 1s and 2s, and I don't want crossover, give me a 4 for yes and a 5 for no. Give me a 4 for yes and a 5 for no. Is this going to be the best-selling Magic set of all time? A 4 for yes and a 5 for no. That hype is very real. Does anybody know right now what the best-selling Magic the Gathering set is of all time? Let's see if we can find it. Best-selling MTG set of all time. Modern Horizons 2. The head designer claims that Modern Horizons 2 is the all-time best-selling set. Modern Horizons 2, huh? Wow. Is that doable? I think it's doable. I think it's doable. Because here's the thing. As Magic fans, like, they want us to be excited and buy it. This should be something we can get excited about if they do it right, right? But the thing that makes it extra special, this is something that non-Magic fans can get excited about and might buy with no intention of playing Magic. They might collect this whole set with no intention of playing Magic. That's a whole other market. When you see this at the store, like, you don't know what an Eldraine is. You don't know what a Modern Horizons 2 is. When you see this in the store, and maybe you know of that guy, that friend of yours that plays Magic and always loves it, and he has a Commander night, but you never do it because you're not really into that kind of thing, but you love Lord of the Rings, and you see this at the store, a Commander deck on the shelf, and you're like, hey, I could go play Commander night. I could play Lord of the Rings. That's a whole other audience, man. Do those people exist? How would we know? Everybody we know plays Magic. But I believe, I have learned that just because I don't know that something exists doesn't mean it's not there. Call it one of the things I've learned in my years. Oh, guys, this has been fun. I am glad to get to do another stream with you. I have not been able to stream much. Gonna toss up a quick stream marker thingy. I will not be streaming much for the foreseeable future. I am spending my days, including when I'm done with this today, I'm spending my days recording a lot of videos. And I talked about this on Covert Go 2. I made a video about it, but if anybody missed it, if you guys just come out for the streams and things like that, if you missed it, I am very busy, and I'm going to be insanely busy. I am probably entering the most important and busiest, like, 5 weeks of my career ever. And I can't even tell you about the things I'm going to be doing, but you will know when it is time to know. And I will be out of my dojo. I will be out there in the world, traveling to make content for you guys. And you know what? When it's done, I know you guys will love it. But in the meantime, I am basically climbing my own Mount Doom. I'm trying to record like a month worth of videos so that I can make this trip without leaving you guys without content for a day. So the videos are shorter. I'm batch recording, so you're not getting like outros, because cutting multiple different files for that takes extra time. It's just kind of a pain. Also, the sample sizes are small, so the stats don't really matter, so I feel weird about doing the stats. So yeah, we're doing shorter videos, no outros, but we're making sure something is going up, you know. And outros, they'll be back. And streams will be back. I expect to stream more when all this is over, because I do this for fun. I don't make a lot of income from streaming. I don't expect to. It is very much a hobby for me, something that I can share with you guys, because I do think like you guys are super supportive, and you're probably my biggest fans. Maybe not all of them. There's probably some people, you know, who just watch the YouTube who would fall into that category, but like, you guys are very supportive. I do enjoy my time with you, and I do want to share that time. But I will return in the future to doing streams. You won't see many streams, though, for the next month or so. That's the fact. That's the fact. But don't unfollow and don't give up on me. Keep watching the YouTubes. Make sure you check out Covert Go 2, the second YouTube channel, where I put a lot of updates like that. Or just watch the videos on Covert Go Blue, and trust that I shall return to regular content. And if there are cool reveal streams like this that I just want to do, we will. I'll try to make time for it. But for this stream today, and for this awesome peek at what is to come from the Lord of the Rings set, we're going to call it a wrap. So it's time to take that ride. You know the one.